So one of the first things that we would like to look at when we are looking at the market or the Nifty itself is understand the market internals, and for that we actually look at the performance cycles of the mid cap index. And when we look at that, we see it goes through cycles. There's a period where this green line is rising, which means mid caps are outperforming the large caps or the Nifty, and then there's a decline phase where the mid caps are underperforming. So these go through phases, and usually when you have strength in the broad market, and as we call it the market internals, then it's a positive sign for the general market itself. So what we've been seeing here throughout this period is a basing out of the strength in mid caps, and then a slow and steady move towards the upside, which means mid caps are very clearly outperforming the Nifty again, and very much from the bottom end of this broadening range, which means that I would anticipate that the outperformance cycle continues for a much longer period of time, which then bodes well for the underlying trend of the market. So while we might see all these short-term gyrations and a lot of news flow, we have the second lockdown happening, at least in Maharashtra and many other places with the restrictions, but there are also government measures in place, and when net you have to look at the market structure and decide how weak it's going to get. Then when we see the strength in the broad market, we feel that the liquidity which is driving the secondary market is sufficient to at least hold up the market at these levels, and then we look for any kind of triggers that can occur on the upside. So basically the market internal strength remains good. Another factor that tells us about the internal strength, weakness, risk taking by market participants has always been the currency pair. So whenever the market's doing well, the USD INR is generally heading down and in a trading range. So now for a large part of this year, we saw the USD INR actually head lower. So it was actually showing strength for the rupee, and that has definitely helped the market. But somewhere between November, December, we've seen the speed slow down. So for quite a while the market was making new highs through November and December into January, the USD INR, which had made this low point in September, was really not broken all the way till sometime in January. And after that also, while you've seen this little break, we again have a double bottom and now this big move up. So how do we really read into this? And so sometime in November, I started to consider the unexpected strength in the currency as an indication that probably in the long term chart, where I'm trying to fit a 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, which means the fifth wave is occurring. The fifth wave itself, which according to me possibly starts at this low point in the market. So if the fourth wave really terminated at that point, and the third may have ended I think here, so this is a one very broad trading range, and that's similar to what we had in wave 2. Wave 2 was of course a 61% retracement, and 4 has been within 38%, and so the alternation fits in. And the question was, where did the fifth end? Did the fifth really end over here? And if it did, I would be looking for a possible expanded flat, and this decline here should have been more impulsive than it really was, and that has been raising the odds of the potential that maybe wave 5 is forming an ending diagonal pattern. And the ending diagonal pattern usually has 5 waves, A, B, C, D, E, and so it involves 2 contracting lines. And in November, well, the contracting lines were much steeper in terms of the contraction. So even though they widened a bit, it doesn't really change the idea that you can form an ending structure, because one of the important requirements of such a pattern is that you actually end up with an internal wave count which is still 33333 in structure. So I'm just changing these colors for my own segregation between the text and trend lines. And so when we are really saying this is an ending pattern, what we are saying is this is A, B, C, D and E. And when we say that, it means that each of these moves are a series of 3 waves, 3 waves up, 3 waves down. Now this is clearly corrective, corrective, corrective. This part can be slightly debated, but I did have issues at the time it was rallying in terms of counting it perfectly as 5. We fit it in with some truncation or some changes, but it could be corrective, so not rule that out. The rest of it is very, very clear. This is a corrective decline. Here you have a very clear cut A, B and C, because you have a triangle pattern, which means this is a smaller A, smaller B and smaller C inside this structure. Then again, this whole fall here has become complex, W, X, Y, Z types in wave D, and now we are then in wave E, which itself should develop in 3 legs, which is A, B and C on the way up. So this is where this is my expectation with what the currency is doing. So it's going to go much higher, which means all the way to 78, and the immediate, and in fact maybe in 78, 80, because this is a rising trend line, and longer it takes, it could end up being 78 or 79. And that will lead people to start thinking, well, then that's not good for the markets. But like what we saw back here, you have this rally, then you have a B wave during which actually markets did well for a while, and then you had the C wave up. So that's what is, I think, likely here. You have A, you have B, and there's going to be a C. And while B is going on, it's possible that it doesn't put so much pressure. The first wave, right after the RBI indicating that it's going to keep real interest rates negative, it led to a breakout of the USD/INR. So this actual breakout outside of this falling trend line, which had held back, 3 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, of course, taking the high, it's 4, otherwise 3 attempts to break past. And the 4th attempt went through on the RBI announcement. But where it has stalled now is the 61% retracement. So this is why I think it's probably stopping here, apart from the idea that, the rise and wave is itself 5 ways when we look at a daily chart. This is of course a weekly chart. And so if we've almost completing 5 waves here, if we close down for the day, I think I would say 5 waves are done, and it's trying to get past or struggling with the 61% mark, which is at 75.18. And so if we stay below that, close down, 5 waves are done, and A would end and B would start. So B could be either a correction or a multi-week consolidation phase like we saw here. This was a triangle. A triangle can repeat in wave B, or it can also end up being a complex pattern like WXY or something like that. We don't know how much time it would take, so it's something you'll have to just keep watching. And as and when you see clarity of an impulsive move up in wave C unfolding is when the next time we'll perceive some kind of risk in markets again, and that's when it will complete the move towards 79 and then probably head much lower. This is my current sense of it. If this retracement 61% ends up being an X wave and we start down from here itself, I'll really have to rethink this thesis and go back to what I was thinking earlier, that the 5th wave ended here at this point of time, and it's not forming an ending, and the entire pattern from there on is still something, if not complex, if it still can fit the expanded flat thesis that I had, it will have to be thought, because then I have to figure out how to mark this fall as a 5 wave decline, and the only way maybe to think of it as a leading diagonal in 1 and then 2 and then 3 goes straight down. So if that happens to the rupee, that it goes straight down, doesn't form a triangle or some pattern, then we can go back to the idea that this was an expanded flat, and the trend is still down with what I think is already a dollar bear market. So the only reason the rupee would not do that is because of our own policy stance. So it'll be good to watch, wait for this B to unfold, see whether wave B down is unfolding as a consolidation or not. If it ends up being an impulsive decline, then we'll change the counts and reconsider this entire structure again. So as USD/INR completes its bump up and goes into either wave B or the next decline phase, shouldn't Nifty also be ready to move on the way up? That's the question we are trying to answer today as we watch this market. And one of the things that I've been able to do with this structure is consider whether it is a triangle formation. Now, typical triangle formation again is a contracting pattern where A is large, then C is smaller, and then E is the smallest. Whereas what you might see in this structure is that A is slightly bigger. So somebody asked me that question, and I said that typically happens when we mark something as a running triangle. In a running triangle, sometimes this first point from where we start the marking of A, B, C, D, E actually doesn't touch this trend line of the highs. So all the 3 highs do not really, this and this, the 3 tops do not end up being on the trend line, and because of that it's possible that wave A is sometimes smaller than wave C. So that's when you end up with what we call a running triangle, which is what I think is here. And what has happened in E of this triangle so far is we've really not touched the lower line. And if we don't touch this lower line and then go up from here, again this is what we call a truncated wave E. And a truncated means it actually shows strength, because the market is so strong it couldn't really get back to the lower line in the 5th wave of the triangle pattern. And so visually it will almost look like this is a double bottom close to the 14,240, 260 range. And even though this piercing of the below is barely 20 points, so it's like a double bottom so far. And if that holds and we start up, then what we are really doing is starting a rally after a triangle structure, and triangles are typically fourth wave pattern. So that's I think the outcome we look for, and the breakout point for this would usually be the top end of the triangle, which is closer to around 14,900. It's a downward slanting line, so the number will keep changing, but somewhere close to 14,900 once we break out on a closing basis, then we are really out of the triangle and into another impulsive wave higher. Now before I leave, let me also announce that we are doing the long short webinar this weekend. So usually after we write the long short report, which I did in the previous week, we follow it up with a very detailed discussion on the long-term structure across markets, including not just the Nifty, but gold, silver, the dollar, and what's happening everywhere, and how I really link everything together. And you can post your questions when you sign up for the webinar. You just have to go to the long short report section of the India Charts website, and under the strategy update, you'll find the webinar registration link over there. So you just sign up. You can post questions below the registration link page and in the comment section of the website, and we usually take those questions first and then continue taking those which really come up in the session itself, which should be on Sunday, the 18th of April, that is this coming Sunday at 9:30 a.m. So see you all there. Thank you.